Hi there, happy Juneteenth. So I'm here to give a little bit of a Jewish perspective. I read a blog and this was a post I made last week that got a lot of attention. So it's called Why Every Jew Should Be an Ally for the Black Lives Matter Movement. So I have a lot of opinions when it comes to most things. This subject is no exception. I might not necessarily subscribe to all the points that are at the core of this movement, and none of that matters. Right now, what matters is not what the Jewy white guy from the suburbs thinks. What matters is Black lives. I can never begin to pretend to know what it's like to be a person of color in this country. Therefore, the best that I can do for you today is to give you a Jewish perspective and explain why it's imperative that every Jew speaks up and speaks out against injustice. Now, as a historically marginalized group, the Jewish consciousness knows too well the dangers of tyrannical government. It's clear that in the United States, the justice system that we as a country hold so dearly is tyranny on Black lives. I could say we need to stand up for Black lives because it could be the Jews next, but that seems shallow. I think we're obligated to speak up because we as a culture that has been able to flourish under the freedom of the United States and Israel specifically have a duty to mankind to fight for the right of Black communities to experience the same break from bondage and allow for the flourishing of their culture as well. When taking a look at the prosperity of innovation in Tel Aviv, it's clear when groups of people are given space to breathe, great things happen. Now, the overwhelmingly Ashkenazi Jewish population in America sees no anti-Semitism as a result of the color of their skin. I and many other white Jews have white privilege in America. It's the reason why I don't worry about getting pulled over. I don't worry about playing with toy guns in public or being out past curfew and so many other things. The American Jew needs to start to realize how his enjoyment of white privilege is a direct detriment to Black freedom in America. Now, the only way to fix this is to act. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel famously said that in Selma, Alabama, marching arm in arm with Dr. King, that he learned to pray with his feet. So go to a protest, tweet a hashtag, and most importantly, call out racism in your community with the same vigor and passion that the Jewish community fights anti-Semitism. It was amazing to see so many people come out in support of Jewish pride marchings following anti-Semitic attacks in New York. It's the vision, if the vision is tikkun olam, to repair the world, then every Jew that cared enough to speak out then should be right here. Arm in arm with their Black neighbors right now. That is how we will pray with our feet. Now, many Jews want to step away from all of this for one reason. Historically, the stance of the official Black Lives Matter organization is pro-Palestinian and anti-Zionist. With the protests in every U.S. state and more than a dozen countries, it should be abundantly clear that the name Black Lives Matter is much more than the title of an organization. It seems completely ludicrous to me that even a fragment of the Jewish community would end up on the wrong side of history because they're unable to separate these concepts. Now, as a pro-Israel Zionist myself, if every protester in this crowd came out with hate for Israel, I would still support the movement. Because people are complicated, but the fight for justice is universal. Now, if I want to expect to be listened to when I talk about the importance of defending the state of Israel, right now I need to stop talking and start listening about defending Black lives. So, I'll finish with this. Holding on to the values of justice and kindness is what have made the Jewish people so resilient, and right now should be no different. Be an ally for Black lives and be a force that will bring justice and peace to the world. Thank you guys for coming out today, and power to the people.